Full Flourishing, and today I was going to talk to you a little bit about our homeschool philosophy and just our philosophy of education, how it's changed, kind of what direction we're going. I have two sons. I have a 2.5-year-old boy named Samson and an 8.5-month-old Jericho, and we have been doing tot school with Samson off and on since he became a tot, since he was 13 months old. And we have been doing a lot of Montessori-inspired activities. In fact, that was the first kind of method of education I kind of came in contact with when he was 3 months old. And so I did a lot of delving into Maria Montessori and her philosophy of education and about the child, and just fell in love. And it just really kind of makes sense with my kind of analytical part of my brain, and just structure and organization. And even if you're not that way, it is a really lovely philosophy to check out. But then after that, I started really getting into Rudolf Steiner and Waldorf education, and did a lot of studying about that and about rhythms. And that was probably the thing about his philosophy of education that I loved the most and really took out of that. And then I was introduced to Charlotte Mason and have been really digging into her philosophy of education for at least the last 6 months, but probably closer to the last 10 months. And what I have found about all three of these amazing people is that there are just certain things that people who do a lot of research on children, there's just certain things that are always the same. And they may be from different places around the world and have different backgrounds, and even be from different time periods, but there are just some basic things that people who study children and watch children learn and know. And one of those, for example, would be that children need to be in nature a lot, like outside all the time, and just need to be. But anyways, so for the last 6 months, well, really the last year, I would say, I've been implementing lots of aspects of these different methods, and just have been able to see Samson just just blossom. And it's just really a fun journey that we've been on. However, he is nearing 3. He's gonna turn 3 this summer. I cannot believe it. And so I'm starting to realize, I knew this already, but we are just getting to that point where we need more structure in our home and in our family. I need more structure. It's really frustrating to just kind of feel like your whole day goes by and maybe what you wanted to get done didn't get done. My personality is I don't know if I was always this way, but I have become where I'm just not rigid. I'll say, so tomorrow this is the activity, I think I'm gonna do, and these are some things that we're gonna have planned, and we might go to the farmer's market tomorrow, or and I'm just kind of, and then tomorrow comes and we end up spending an hour in the morning reading, and we just never can get out of our pajamas, and it's like, well, that's okay, that's fine, we were reading. And I'm just very relaxed. I have become that way, and I think it started after Samson was born, where I just realized that I didn't want all the fluff that is in life. I just wanted this intentional life, this life that was about choosing what we did, where we went, how we lived, how we spent our money, what we ate, just being very intentional and not letting life happen to us, but taking charge of our life and not looking back and saying, where did the year go? But being able to look back and say, this is what we did, and this is what we accomplished, and we just really, the majority of our time was spent just as a family spending time together. So anyways, in all of that, I've gotten to where I'm really relaxed. And although I do know that this is going to be a positive aspect, that this is a positive characteristic as for me as the mother and the homeschooling leader of the family, I also recognize that it has the potential to be my biggest weakness too. I read this book, and I would highly encourage you to check this book out, but it's called Mere Motherhood by Cindy Rollins. I am currently kind of compiling everything that I would like for us to have as a part of our homeschool environment and our daily rhythms as a family, and I'm trying to kind of piece it together in my mind. For example, over the last year, we have done an artist study. We studied Leonardo da Vinci. Samson really enjoyed that. That was really fun. We have done lots of poetry reading. We've done verse memorization. We have done some hymns. We've done some nature drawings and studies. Keep in mind, he's 2. It's been in the year that he's been 2 going on 3. So, it's not what you're thinking about like a 10-year-old would do. But we have been incorporating some of these things. I've even done some Spanish here and there. But a lot of it was just me really testing things. Originally, when I first started reading a lot of Maria Montessori's work, I would think, we'll just see if that works. There's a concept in Montessori of the floor bed, and if you don't know what that is, you can look into it more. I have a post on my blog about it. But and I remember thinking, okay, we're gonna try this. We never got a crib, and we just had to pack and play, and it just was not working. It was horrible, actually. And I said, I think I want to try this, but let's not go out and buy a mattress. Let's just use something that we have. And so we did, and we will never go back. So it's definitely something to look into. But anyways, I have found that the more that I trust each of these great child researchers, the more that it just transforms our family, and the more I trust them, the more I realize, yeah, I can just trust them. I don't have to be so skeptical, even though sometimes I still am a little skeptical. So anyways, we've done lots of things in the last year, but now I'm trying to really streamline it. There is another book by Cindy Rollins called Morning Time. Now, Cindy Rollins did Charlotte Mason and really the classical education model with her family, but even if you're not interested in Charlotte Mason, even if that's not a direction you're interested in, checking out the book Morning Time is worth your while. It is literally it's very small, and it is just an incredible resource of materials and lists of book lists and Bible passages that are worth memorizing, Shakespeare plays that are just lovely to do. Uh-oh, I hear Jericho. I'll have to go get him here in a second. Yeah, so Jericho woke up from nap, so he's gonna join me, so I don't have too much longer. But so basically, if you were to ask me, a year ago or 2 years ago, it just feels so daunting when you're first starting out on a possible homeschool journey. It just feels really daunting, and you think, how do I even get to the point where all these other people are? How do I even know what direction to take for my family? And I will say this, there are 2 pieces of advice that a homeschooling mom whose children are all grown, who was the first family who I ever saw and thought, oh, homeschoolers aren't just strange weirdos, they're actually just normal people who realize the value of education and really just want to spend time at home with their children and want to do homeschool. And these are the 2 pieces of advice she gave me. Number 1 was, if you can, try to not have to do homeschool around your dining room table, because then you are always having to clear it off. But then she said, but we did. So, and then the second piece of advice she gave me was, find a direction and stick with it. Don't, lovely things will come all the time, this lovely direction, this lovely curriculum, but find a direction and stick with it. Go that way and see it through. So now that I'm, 2.5 years into this research journey, this is what I would say, this is what I have found has helped me formulate my philosophy of education and our philosophy of education for our family, my husband included, because he's in on this too. It's not just me making decisions. So first what I did is I looked at blogs, and I looked at Pinterest and blogs and YouTube, and I just found Montessori, which helped me find Waldorf, which helped me find Charlotte Mason, which and then I just did a bunch of research. I have read a lot of books and listened to a lot of podcasts. And in all of that, it's helped my mind kind of transform and just think about things. Now what I'm doing, the second thing I did, so the first thing was research, The first thing was research and just kind of give myself a lot of information. The second thing was just try some of these things out. Just go ahead and dive in, man. Don't just keep waiting. Just dive into it and just see how it works and how your style works for your family. And then the step that I'm doing now is I've kind of got this, it's a little embarrassing to show, so I'm not gonna like zoom in on it, but I am kind of doing just kind of like some brainstorming of what are the things right now with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, that's what they will be this summer. What are some things that this next year, that this summer, what are some things that are really important to me to begin incorporating? What are some things that we really need to start working on? What are some rhythms that we can begin implementing in our family? What are the things that I want to include in a morning time? We've done morning time, but we've done it randomly and here and there and very sporadic, but an actual morning time where we come together and Samson knows that this time, every single day, we do these things that he can look forward to and be excited about. What are the things that I want to include in that? And so I'm brainstorming right now. I'm even starting to write down like, okay, this is kind of what our daily schedule can look like. This is kind of what our weekly schedule can look like. I will say that I generally don't have us planned to be out of the house and do something more than one time a week. So Monday through Friday. So Saturdays a lot of times we'll go to the farmer's market during warm weather seasons. Or we'll go out and run errands as a family, or we'll go do something fun together. You're so cute. Sundays is really tied up with going to church and having a house group. And so Monday through Friday, generally one day a week, I have something actually planned. And I'm a part of a MOPS group called Mothers of Preschoolers. If you've never heard of it, you should look into it and try and find one in your area. It's really lovely. But so we do that. That's every other Thursday. But other than that, I don't usually have anything scheduled and planned. And so I would suggest, thinking about how many activities you're involved in, what you say yes to, what you say no to is equally as powerful as what you say yes to. And so, anyways, I guess that's about all I've got right now. This is where I am on my journey, and I get lots of questions from friends. I get lots of direct messages on Instagram, just asking me, how are you thinking through this? What are you doing? What's your philosophy of education? And so I just thought I would kind of share kind of where I am right now and invite you to join me on this journey as I'm figuring things out. And if you have any suggestions of other methods to look, I hope that you have a good week.